There it is. Cool. Just wait a second.
All right. So. It turns out that there was not a copy of PowerPoint on this computer, but I had to translate all of the docs. Okay, so Taskwarrior was this cool thing that I found kind of early into the school year. I had a really bad problem with not being organized. Ask professors who had me in their class. Sometimes sometimes I'll like not turn things in when I'm supposed to, and it's not a matter of like I didn't do your assignment. It's a matter of like, I don't know when I'm supposed to turn it in, and all these things get jumbled in my head. And so recently, though, I've been trying to push towards getting my life together in coursework and everywhere else. And Taskwarrior has been one of the things that's kind of helped me manage my time and all the stuff that's going on. So what is Taskwarrior? It's a command line to-do list. It works on Unix, Linux, and kind of from their website. It's a free and open source software that manages your to-do list from the command line. It's flexible, fast, and unintrusive. It does its job and gets out of your way. I've used all kinds of like habit breaking or making tools or like to-do lists in the past. There's this popular one I've played before called Habit RPG also, where like you write your to-do list, you get like gold for winning, gamification and all that stuff. But what I found is that it took me longer to set up stuff and enter items into those tools than it would for me to just write something on a sheet of paper, right? And one of the things about like useful technology that's like aids in productivity is that I don't think it should take longer to do it on the computer than it should for me to write it down on paper. And I always have the terminal open, right? So this is actually faster now for me than pulling out a sheet of paper and pencil and writing things down. So what can it do? So you can have tags, searchable content, you can have reoccurring tasks that happen, filters when you're looking through your reports. You can customize pretty much all of it, right? It's open source, and they provide some like in-tool ways of customizing things as well. So just some examples. This is my task list as of earlier today. You can see all the red that I have to do today. And then stuff later on. And so this is just one of the examples. I'm sure there's some assignments on here that these are only actual work. So you can see they have like unique identifiers. You can see priority tags on things. And usually I add priorities as I complete things. But you can modify things at any time. I have tags, so different classes are tagging different things. You can do quick descriptions, due dates, and these urgencies. But the key part about this is all just one way of looking at it. This is one report. On the actual Taskwarrior website, they have a bunch of different kinds of reports you can see. And I'm going to switch over to that just so you guys can see that. Since normally I'd be showing you guys from the terminal, but I couldn't get it up right now. So they have a bunch of different kinds of reports. Active, all blocked. List is just one, and mine's actually customized. So I already changed in the way that it is. And then you can do burn. I should have added burn downs.
What is a burn down? You mentioned that in the abstract.
Yes. Okay. And this is actually really disappointing that I can't just show you my own burn down list. Although it's not, I have too many things that aren't burned down yet. So burn down list is kind of like a list of. This is the best. Okay. So this is the best page to have it, and also one that illustrates burn down. So here, just regular task list with stuff on it. Burn down list. Actually, that's Gene Street. Oh my gosh, it keeps sticking. So burn down list kind of provides you a list. So here, this is like a daily burn down. So the amount done, the amount you've started in this time period pending. And actually, this is probably my favorite feature, the add rate / done delete rate. I dropped a class because my done delete rate was like half of my add rate. I was adding things faster than I could take care of them and get them off. Actually, I technically dropped a whole major part because of that. So it kind of allows you to quickly get like an overview of, should you be spending more time doing your work? Are you adding things at a much faster rate than you're getting things done? And so the estimated, now I have a convergence on my estimated completion date.
I still don't know what burn down is.
Oh, okay, sorry. So burn down is essentially, I don't know, in a lot of projects people have lists of tasks that they have to get done, and this just kind of shows like a percentage amount you got done. So you see the pending, those are all tasks that they haven't completed yet, based on so on the 15th, there were, on this person's list, there were 10-ish, maybe like 15 or something, that they had on the list, and they had only completed up to that date. So you can add them throughout any point in time on this calendar, and then you can also finish them at any point during this calendar. And it kind of builds up as you go on, essentially it's a burn down of your tasks, I guess. That's the summary.
I still don't know.
Oh, sorry. It's a completion rate, demonstration of your tasks. Sorry, what were you going to say? Yeah.
I apologize. I
You're
have to
fine.
look at my jacket. I'm sorry. I missed the very beginning. Did you mention that when you use Agile?
I was going to mention it's used in a lot of different things. So you can link in bug trackers with this, and it'll auto upload your outstanding bugs, the ones that are assigned to you to fix, on your task list. And one of
So I'm going to answer this burn down question.
Yes, okay.
So in Agile, you have this idea of, you can think of it as tasks or user stories, and they'll estimate the amount of effort that's going to be required for each of them. So it makes perfect sense, right? They'll have a time period, they'll call it a sprint, so for a time box, we think of it as a release, a planned release, and for that period of time, they have so many of these user stories that they're to get done, and let's say that it totals to 80. Now they'll have their burn down chart, which starts at 80 and goes down to 0. So then they're tracking to see how well they've done against their burn down chart. And then they keep track of their velocity, which is how many user stories they can complete in a given period of time. So they're charting both of those, burn downs and velocity.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I only started using this tool this semester myself, and I haven't really. It was mostly a cool visualization for me to know how I was spending my time.
Are you kidding me? As faculty members, we're loving this. Look how organized this student is.
Look at all the things for us he hasn't actually completed.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip past. Oh, actually, that one has your assignments on there. So here's one of them. So I added my presentation for today. The cool thing about this is you can add as little or as much as you want. I can have a list that just says, I did my post, Dr. Wilson, also. The cool thing about this, I could just have, to add a simple task. It's just task, add, and then whatever the description is, right? Just that, right? But I always add more, just because I want more description, I want more filterability. So CS department, give presentation, and it's due today, right? And so after you saw my previous task list, well now it appears, actually that one was on there. This list doesn't show blocking tasks, so you can actually set it such that certain tasks rely on other tasks in order to be completed. So here, I think this one, task list here, you can change the way that it's sorted, it's the way that these tasks show up. So it's not always by due date. So if I have a project that's due next week, and I say it should be worth a billion times the urgency of everything else, but I have assignments that are due this week, I can either personally change the modifier myself and make the urgency jump up, or they have a calculation here. You can change the coefficients for how each part factors into your urgency list, right? So I have a few custom reports that I made that I'm not able to show you because I can't use my command line right here. So this is just one of the examples. So I have a few recurring things that come up. I have a tag. You can give due dates. You can also give. So this is also how you complete a task. You can give like breakdowns of all the stuff that you have attached to a certain one. So here I said CS department, and give me the list of things from this that are tagged in the CS department stuff that I had to do. And so, improve my Taskwarrior foo, prepare a presentation, then give presentation. Just kind of based on how I entered these and the tags, you can see how it calculates its urgency for any particular thing that you have in here. So, give presentation, entered. The due date, it usually places midnight by default if you don't, or I think midnight, yeah, by default if you don't put anything in it. But you can do natural language, or some natural language-ish stuff to enter in due dates, or almost any of these tags. So like, you could do due, semicolon, and then today +4. And it would say 4 days from now. All right, or you could do +4 WK, weeks, or +4 weeks, right? It allows you to kind of do a little bit of, I have something due a week from now, I have something due 2 weeks from now, I have something due on a very specific date, I have something due the 3rd, and it finds when the next date that is the 3rd is, and it says, all right, it's due that day. Or it can do some natural language things like today, yesterday. I think I added one that was due yesterday, maybe. So you can see all these things, you can change what gets added to them. So like your urgency coefficient, last modified, entered status, these virtual tags kind of help also do filtering. So due today is one of them, that's what helps determine the color. Tagged, there's nothing blocking it, so it has unblocked. And those are the ones that it auto places on each task. So this is some of the stuff you can customize, just kind of showing. My reports, you can set these things called contexts, where let's say right now I only want to focus on schoolwork. I don't want to see my list associated with anything else. You can define a context that only, this is the filter, custom filter it applies. And when you do task list, I think it shows up now. Yeah, so context, school, task list, and now only my school-related things show up. None of the stuff from the makerspace or programming team or anything like that in this context. So that's one of the customizable features. You can make your own reports and change what appears in your reports, and also kind of how they're sorted. So I have my minimal report here. Just give me the tags, give me when it's due, and give me the description. And so that would be the quick, kind of like my quick overview if I'm doing a quick check or something. I changed my list to throw out all the stuff I don't use. They don't actually show any column unless you have an item in it that uses that column. So if there are like all kinds of things you can do. You can have like separate projects that have subcomponents, and as I said, the like pending, blocked, unblocked. You can have this task depending on this project being completed, or stuff like that. And then it gives you like progress bars towards completion as well. I also made my own custom report in here that they didn't have anything for it. That would show me a lot more, right? So show me if an item depends on another item. Show me how long I've had this sitting in my to-do list. Or priority tags, the recurrence. If there's a countdown, so let's say I don't want something to appear on my list because it's due in like a year. It's not going to show up there. If I indicate a wait time, then it's not going to show up until a week before it's due, or a month before it's due, or however long I want until it actually shows up on my to-do list. So that way, if you want to go ahead and schedule long-term tasks, they'll appear in your list, and you can still do task all and have it show up. Or in some of the custom lists, you can make it where it doesn't show up until it's approaching them. So another one, advancement, programming team, research, US department, context, work, my makerspace stuff goes up there.
And so, showed us that's a configuration file?
Yes, this is one of the configuration files. So you can actually change these. I don't have to go into this file at all to edit these commands. There's a command called it's task config, right? Actually, not a command, sorry. A modifier. So the way commands are set up in Taskwarrior, let's jump here real quick. This is probably the best example. So the way the commands are set up, you can have a task, then you set some filters so it'll operate on some set of tasks you have. So let's say you weren't using tags until now. You can do a regex query on the descriptions of your tasks, and then you can say, all right, now everything that says computer science tag with, I don't know, maybe you're only in one computer science class or something, I don't know. Or everything that says MDPs in it, tag it with research or something. And so you can do that. So you can set these custom filters, or you can filter based on tags that exist already. So you can say minus sign to say, make this filter not show up at all. So this is kind of one example. So this is a tag, home. It's either a tag or a project. So it could be either of them, so your project garden. Or you can say, just give me a task based on its ID. So you can modify it. Anything you put after that modify, it adds to that tag already. Task show, this allows you to, through Taskwarrior, actually view the values of the configuration variables. So everything in Taskwarrior is essentially manipulable. Like every variable you see, you can go in and change how it's calculated or change how it's displayed. You can change the colors for everything as well if you want. And so with that, yeah, so filters can be all kinds of things. Certain ones show up just by default. So if I just want to see everything associated with a certain tag, I can do that. There's modifications, as I said. So, end of month. They have a lot of quick shortcuts as well for certain terms. So this is like end of month. It's like rent due or something. Let's see, miscellaneous. Yeah, so random stuff like that.
Repeating tasks every month, I must remember to write the right check.
Yeah. I don't have that recurring task. I have someone who just yells at me to do that. But that is one of the things you can do. So you can have reoccurring tasks. So one of the things I have to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday is review a paper, certain research papers, and that reoccurring task you just say recur and then weekly, or you can say recur today and then enter the days that needs to recur on or something, and then you can do until, and so it'll recur until a certain date, and then it'll disappear off the calendar if you want. And everything you've done also appears. I think I have this. Maybe I didn't put it in here. You have a past database, I guess, of everything that you've completed if you want, or you can clear them at any point in time. So it actually they reuse the IDs also. So these IDs, I've not only had 33 tasks ever. I have, or 35, yeah. I've not only had 35 tasks ever. It'll go back and recycle them after you've completed them. Kind of recycle the IDs to prevent you having to type in 1,157 as your ID or something to modify something. So let's see. So you can customize date formats. And you can kind of see in my report here, or my thing here, I changed the date format because it did the thing where it had day first, month, and then year. And I just prefer entering it this way because that's how my Windows machine is set up. Sorting orders and filters, that's kind of what I was showing earlier. So these sorts, you can say, due date, so that's one of the things that pushes it up a little bit higher. Project, if it has a project, push it up higher. Urgency isn't quite as important. Start date isn't quite as important. Essentially, this one just says order it based on when it's due. That's the most important. If it's due or if it's part of the larger project, then it's probably more important for that list.
Is this a configuration file you've edited?
Yes. Well, but I didn't edit the file itself. That's what I was trying to say. Is you can edit the file if you want, or you can go through their tool to just set it up using the command line.
You have built this somehow or other as a configuration.
Oh yes. Sorry. Yeah, it's like a task RC is what they call it. And then you can also, so everything in the whole thing everything's plain text. All the configuration files, your task IDs, I think you might actually have, yeah, so the output from it is readable in a text file. So I don't think I have the, I don't have the screenshot, but there are 4 files. One of them is pending, one of them is done, one of them is deleted, and there's like another one. If you open up those files, they have lists just like this, except for, they don't calculate this stuff. They calculate this part on the fly. But it has a list like this for every task, and so you can just go in and straight modify it if you want. And if you type in task 36 edit, for example, it'll open your default editor in Linux, and it'll jump you straight to the line of the thing, or I'm pretty sure it has a thing, or it tries to jump you to the line, whatever. And so you can edit these just by hand if you want. Like if you want to say, I just want to delete all these tasks. I don't want to type the word delete for all of them, and there's no common feature I can search through to delete them all using regex. Then you can do that. Yeah, so you can choose, you can act on large sets of IDs, large sets of these tasks at once through those filters, or you can operate them individually, either by going to these files or through the command line interface. So one of the big points also with this is you can import and export JSON. So anything that uses JSON can read these theoretically. Any program that, and if you want to set up your own custom web page so you don't have to use it using the command line, then you can have something that creates Taskwarrior and gets input or gets input from input JSON. So you can display that however you want. I already mentioned the DOM accessible variables. And then there's like Bug Warrior, and there's a whole set of tools that people have made to work with this. So there's one tool by the same people called Time Warrior, where you can like track how long you spend on a task. So it tries to do this almost like a command line stop timer, except for it links directly to the task or to your Taskwarrior task. And so when you have those like burn down charts, you can also get like a time spent to burn down, and realize like maybe where you're falling short. You need to spend more time doing this thing or more time learning about this thing because it's taking you much longer to complete those tasks or something like that. So, yes.
Or maybe when you do this task again, you should know that it takes longer than you would expect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like CS463 projects. So I was going to do a demo, but as I said, I can't. This isn't my computer, so I can't pull up there.
Are there facilities for collaboration? So that if I'm working with someone in New York and we've got some tasks that we both have to do?
Yes. So that bug tracker thing that I was talking about, you can actually sync with, and actually their docs. Their docs are very good also. The documentation for it is wonderful, I think. And there's a lot of features that I haven't even brought up just because there's so many. Yeah, so syncing, so you can sync with servers, like you can set up your own task server, right? This can either operate solely on your computer, no internet connectivity ever, or you can set it up, you can set these task server things that, you can either hook to someone else's task list, or they can hook to yours, or you can have a joint, joint hooks. So anything that, theoretically, anything that you could do. I mean, it requires some setup on a personal side of things. So yeah, so they have a bunch of tools. But specifically the one you mentioned, task servers. Yeah. You you can set up task servers that will sync between, there are apps that people have made also for phones that sync with this. So if you want it on your phone, you can set up your own task server on someone's site or on your own server. But I don't do that just because it forces me to get on my computer. Because that's the only place I do that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, is it possible to have a task that has no deadline? At some
Yes.
point I need to do something.
Yeah. And actually, so you can do that one of two ways. You can just leave the due date blank. Like you don't have to. Remember how I said, so you could, the minimal way to add a task is just task add and then a description. What that does is it lowers the priority, / urgency of it to essentially be, it gets pushed into the list almost always. And I actually think I have one of those on here. Yeah, so the only thing this has is a single tag, and that's makerspace. I have to make some eyeglasses holders and instructional video, right? And I didn't put any due date on it. And so it's just task add, and then on that one I added a tag. So that's something I have to get to at some point, but it's not a priority or really that important. Yes?
Who's the eyeglasses holder for?
It's actually a box of eyeglasses for the heavy tools area. The people aren't allowed in without eyeglasses, but I think if we
Like safety goggles?
safety glasses, yeah. So it's a makerspace in Oregon.
Yeah, it's one place.
So any questions? Cool. All right.
Thank you very much.
Also, a demo would have done this a lot more justice. So don't be discouraged from this PowerPoints.
Guess we'll have to demo it ourselves.
Yes. Make sure you demo it yourselves.
So stay tuned for next week's Keeping Current. I'm looking for one more speaker for next week. So if you've got something neat you want to tell us about, please get in touch with me.